Greetings everyone, it's Closer Look time again. So today I thought we'd take a look at my Amityville horror collection. Yeah, quite a lot to go through here. I thought since I got this nice Scream Factory set of the original trilogy, it might be nice to do a little comparison with the old DVD set that I have that actually has some additional extras that are not in the Scream Factory set. So just kind of do a little comparison there. And then, of course, I recently got the Amityville Cursed collection from Vinegar Syndrome, which is wonderful. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. A closer look. The Amityville horror franchise today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So I guess I was 7 when the first Amityville horror movie came out, and so needless to say I didn't see it at the time. It wasn't until quite some time later that I did finally see them all. I think I saw one of them on TV at some point, like when I was living in Manitoba as a young adult, but the first one I remember seeing was the fourth one, Amityville 4 The Evil Escapes, which was actually a TV movie that just kind of continued the story. But honestly don't remember much about it because I don't think I've seen it since it was on TV. But then a few years back I did pick up this DVD collection and then sat down and watched the entire original trilogy. I think I did see the 3D one on TV at some point because I did recall seeing some of the stuff flying up to the screen and whatnot. But I really didn't remember much about it. So when I watched it on the DVD, it was, you know, there was kind of sense memories of having seen bits of it before, but yeah. But essentially it's the story, well, originally anyway, of a family that moves into a haunted house and things start to go horribly, horribly wrong. But pretty notable at the time because it was purported to be based on a true story, actual events. Yes, scary stuff. And that's actually one of the things that some of the extras on the DVD set go into. There's a couple of nice documentaries there that, from the History Channel, I believe, that go into the actual backstory of what the real story was that inspired the film, and I mean effectively kicked off a horror franchise that continues to this day. There's 20-something Amityville films total. I don't have all of them. But this is kind of the beginning of the franchise here. So we have the original trilogy and then the Cursed collection, which has most of the sort of direct-to-video sequels which followed in the late 80s, early 90s. There's one that isn't included, which is this one, Oddly enough, Amityville The Curse is not in the Cursed collection, but I'm guessing some kind of rights entanglement. It actually hasn't even had a DVD release. It's stuck in VHS land, so you can find it online if you poke around. I did find a copy so I could at least watch it when I kind of get up to that point in the continuity. Although I don't think there's a ton of continuity once you get past the original trilogy. It just kind of goes off on its own thing. So doing a bit of research while editing this video, I discovered that just last year there actually were not one, but two Blu-ray releases of the Amityville Curse. There was this one from Spain, which, by the way, is region-free and does include the original English track as well. And there's also this one from Germany, which was actually released in a nice deluxe edition with 3 different covers. Well, how cool is that? This one, sadly, is Region B locked, so if you're in North America land like me, you'll need a region-free Blu-ray player to play it. And then, of course, pick whichever of the 3 covers you like. So I think I might just try to track down that Spanish release, since I still don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. Yeah, I know. I really got to get on that one of these days. So after the original trilogy, which takes place primarily in the house, and The Evil Escapes, which I think also takes place primarily in the house, we leave the house and it becomes more of a cursed object series. So it's like items that used to be in the house that carry the curse with them. So a little bit like Friday the 13th, the series, but the Amityville version. Yeah. So anyway, that's what a bunch of these are. But really nice to have them in these beautifully restored editions from Vinegar Syndrome. So let's not waste any time. Let's head on down to the black table and we'll take an in-depth look at all 3 of these sets. Okay, so this is my original DVD collection of the Amityville Horror Trilogy. It's actually a very nice set, and I mean, I like it just as kind of a nice little display piece. It's a nice sturdy box, and the spine there, and that, and then on the back just basically gives you the quick skinny on everything. So yeah, I mean, I got this because I think I'd seen bits of the first one, or I'd seen ads and stuff for the first one when I was younger, but I'd never actually seen the movie. I'd seen bits of the third one. I'd only seen the TV movie one, as I mentioned before, but I really wanted to see the original, so I was like, oh, this is a nice collection. This came out around the same time as the 2005 reboot, so it was kind of a merchandise tie-in to that. But just slide these out here. But really nice hard box, which is great. It's actually quite a quality set. So let's take a look at the individual editions here. There we go. So yeah, I was quite pleased to see Margot Kidder in this, who of course I grew up seeing as Lois Lane in the Superman movies. So it was kind of cool to see her, in something other than Superman. There we go. There's actually a nice little selection of special features on here too. It's not a bad little set. And we open it up, and nothing really inside, but some very nice disc art. Yeah, gotta like that one. And then the sequels I definitely never seen. So we had Amityville 2, The Possession, which is actually a prequel. It's supposed to tell the backstory of what happened with the family that got murdered there, that are now haunting the place. But I don't know how accurate that is to the actual story. Oh, look, a flipper disc, yeah. I don't know how accurate that is to the actual backstory. Is this a widescreen and full screen? Yes, widescreen on one side, full screen on the other. So, needless to say, I've only ever watched the widescreen side. But there we go. And I don't think we even have any extras on here. Nope. Bereft of extras. Yep. And then Amityville 3D, which of course is not in 3D because this is DVD, not Blu-ray 3D. So, this one, yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw at least some of this on TV at some point. I did vaguely recall things flying at the screen and whatnot. This was during the sort of brief revival of 3D in the 80s. Now, a lot of people think it was the old red and blue 3D in the 80s, but it wasn't, actually. It was, polarized 3D like we have now, like the Real D. Exactly the same thing, except it was in the 80s, and then it disappeared for a while, and 3D came back a bit in the early 2000s with Anaglyph again, like we'd gone back to the red and blue, and I never understood why. Why are we using this inferior format when polarized is so much better? And then Real D came out, and it was the glorious return of polarized 3D. But a lot of people don't realize that Real D, as they call it now, as they market it now, isn't new. That technology existed back in the 80s, and that's how I first saw 3D movies. And it looks like we got full screen, widescreen flipper disc again here. So anyway, in that revival of 3D in the 80s, it was stuff like this. A lot of horror movies. You had Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. You had Amityville 3D. You had Jaws 3D. You had Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. You had Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin. There was a whole bunch of 3D movies that came out at that time. My introduction to 3D was actually The House of Wax with Vincent Price. It was very cool. I now have the Blu-ray 3D version. So this is the reason, one of the main reasons I keep this set, is because it has this fourth disc, the Amityville Confidential Classified. Yeah, so what this is a pair of History Channel documentaries all about the backstory of the Amityville Horror. You got Amityville the Haunting and Amityville Horror or Hoax. So 2 hour-long documentaries that go into the true story of the hauntings. So whether or not you choose to believe is entirely up to you. And then we got a little thing about the 2005 movie here as well. So pretty cool. This is actually a really nice little addition. And oh, hey, look, we actually have some cover art. There's some disc art on there. So very, very nice. Yeah, so this is the main reason I keep the set, is because for whatever reason all subsequent releases do not include these documentaries. So definitely worth having that fourth disc. And plus, I mean, honestly, it's just kind of a nice set, look at it. It's a nice display piece. Looks impressive on the shelf. But yeah, the main reason in terms of practical reasons is for those documentaries. So fast forward a few years, and we have the Amityville Horror Trilogy from Scream Factory. This was yet another Scream Factory set I got just as it was going out of print, and was really lucky to get my hands on it. I don't know why I waffle on these sets for so long. Sometimes it's just funds or other priorities, and then I hear that it's going out of print, like, oh my god, I don't want to miss that set. So this is basically the same thing as the DVD set, however without the fourth disc. So we just basically got a simple slip box with the original 3 movies. So we just take a look at the various sides there. It's a nice little set. I do have one complaint about it, which I'll share with you in just a moment. And then we got everything printed on the back there as to what all is in it. It is nice to see the other 2 films actually get some extras this time. Something we did not have before. So let's slide these out. And yeah, this is the problem I have with this. Look how flimsy this box is. This is one of the earlier box sets that Scream Factory did. They've since switched to the far better hard boxes, which I love. I've talked about them in other closer looks. But this thing is just, considering the premium you pay for these sets, this is just unacceptable. Having these flimsy crap ass things. They don't even go all the way inside, just like folds. This is like a freaking origami box, like, come on. If we're paying like $60, $70, sometimes $80 for one of these sets, I expect a freaking hard box. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's take a look at the individual movies here. For God's sake, get out! Yeah, I remember seeing the newspaper ads for that all the time as a kid. I would have been 8? No, 7. I would have been 7 when this came out. So, ghosts are scary stuff when you're a little kid, let me tell you. So there we go. So we got, a nice little selection of extras. It doesn't actually seem to be that much more than what was on the DVD set. I got audio commentary, documentary, yeah. So, anyway, nice to have some behind-the-scenes stuff there. So let's just crack it open here, take a look inside. There we go. So no reversible artwork, but we do have some, looks like some foreign posters actually, like Spanish or Italian there. Pretty cool. Very nice indeed. Yeah. So we'll just slide that back in. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. There we go. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched these. I'm looking forward to revisiting them. So then here we have, of course, the prequel, Amityville 2 the Possession. Look at all that text there on the poster art. That's just something you don't see anymore. They have like this huge, they have like a whole freaking story. The night of February 5th, 1976, George and Kathleen Lutz and their 3 children fled their home in Amityville, New York. They got out alive. Their living nightmares shocked audiences around the world in the Amityville horror. But before them, another family lived in this house and were caught by the original evil. They weren't so lucky. This is their story. Yeah, like, I mean, it gives you like a whole blurb on there. You just don't see that on movie posters anymore. Anyway, kind of cool. I do like those old school posters like that. And look at this, we actually got a pile of extras this time. That's something we did not have on the DVD set. So it's nice to see the second one finally get some love. I remember finding aspects of this story a little on the disturbing side, like making me feel uncomfortable watching it. And, well, I guess it's horror, it's supposed to do that. But there's certain subject matter in here that was just a little, I don't know, just weird. But, I mean, I guess it's supposed to make it more of a disturbing backstory, right? Just that things were messed up with that family, to say the least. But yeah, anyway, I look forward to watching this again and being disturbed all over again in glorious high definition. So, and finally, we have Amityville 3D, actually in 3D this time. I think this is actually the first time it's ever been released on home video in 3D, which is pretty cool. So we have a full, proper Blu-ray 3D version of it for the first time ever, which is very cool. Hopefully one day I'll get to watch it in 3D. Yeah, anyway. Amityville 3D. There we go. Yeah, very cool. And once again, it looks like we have some foreign poster art. El Pozo del Infierno 3D. It's all about 3D, man. Yeah, I think in terms of the history of 3D, the current state of it is the longest it's ever lasted. You know, like, it's just, they've taken it so much farther than it ever was before. Like, it used to be strictly a theater thing, and then they would have kind of lame versions of 3D for TV, like, you know, the old Anaglyph red and blue, or the Pulfric style where it would constantly be moving horizontally, which is fine, it works, but it's not the same. I mean, you want the theatrical style where it literally, like, jumps out of the screen at you. And let's face it, I mean, if any genre was perfectly suited for 3D and things flying out of the screen at you, it's horror movies. So, there you go. Alright, so we'll just put all of these back in there. So there we go. That is the Amityville Horror Trilogy from Scream Factory. Very nice. Okay, last but most certainly not least, we have this. Amityville, The Cursed Collection from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, this is a wonderful companion piece to the Shout Factory set, but we'll take a look here at the difference in quality of packaging in just a moment here. But this is beautiful. This is limited edition, basically limited edition box. They're releasing the movies themselves individually, and as far as I know, there's no exclusive disc content on this set. There's nothing on the top, nothing really on the bottom to speak of. Oh, there's a little fossil. There's a little fossil on the bottom. There you go. Adorable. So yeah, really the only reason to get the limited edition is for this super cool box, which, let's face it, is awesome. So basically just slide the top off like that. Oh, and look, we got like all of this sort of dripping blood negative photography thing going on. It's very cool. And it's basically just a big box that holds the 4 Blu-rays. So we'll slide these out here. go. And we'll just quickly say, hard box. Thank you very much, Vinegar Syndrome. Oh, I freaking love this box. It's just like, I mean, this feels like a quality item. You know, you pay a premium for this, you get quality, you feel like it's money well spent. You know, Vinegar Syndrome does not disappoint with their packaging or their extras. So first up, we have Amityville, The Evil Escapes. Hey, this is that TV movie one. That was the first one I actually saw all the way through. The yellow spine. Nobody calls me yellow. And there we go. So, now, most of these, this was a TV movie, and the other three in the set were basically direct-to-video releases in the early 90s. But look at how much they've done for these. I mean, these are just like El Cheapo movies. They got very limited releases, not a lot of fanfare, and weren't even particularly loved by fans of the franchise. But look how much they've done for them. Just this pile of special features and stuff. Like, it's amazing. And this absolutely deluxe edition. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. And reversible insert. I mean, look at that. Oh, you don't like the yellow spine? Well, here's a blue one. Use blue. There you go. So, yeah. Anyway, good stuff. So I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. I probably haven't seen it since it was on TV. And then the other three I've actually never seen. So this is going to be a real treat. So what ended up happening was after they wanted to continue the Amityville franchise, but they, I guess, didn't have a lot of money. So they kind of went the Friday the 13th, the series route, and turned it into a cursed object series of movies. So the whole idea is that it's like cursed objects that were in the house, but made it out of the house and carry the evil with them. So yeah, and that's basically what it is. I think this one's about a clock. It's about time. Get it? Yeah. And again, pile of special features on there. Vinegar Syndrome does not mess around. Doesn't matter what the movie is. If Vinegar Syndrome gets the license, guaranteed they're going to give it the royal treatment, no matter what. No exceptions. It's just the kind of company they are and why we love them so much. And there you go. That's actually a very cool cover. I like that one. See, these covers all kind of have a unified theme to them. And but then on the reverse, you get more, I guess, what the original video covers were, which is cool. But they're both nice. But of course, even though they don't technically feature the house in them a lot of the time, they still feature the house prominently in the package art. Just so you know, I mean, it's such an iconic image, right? The house that looks like a face, like these are the eyes looking into your soul, and then it's such an iconic image of the house. And then here we have Amityville: A New Generation. What is this one from? This is from 1993. Yes, they were coming out fairly frequently with these direct-to-video sequels. Nice blue spine there. And there we go. Yeah, so at some point I will do reviews of all of these. I'd kind of like to get all of the rest of the Amityville films that are available on DVD and Blu-ray and just have like an Amityville month. Like, let's just go through the whole damn franchise, all 20-something of them, I think that would be fun. And then I could suffer on your behalf and tell you which ones you can quite comfortably avoid like the plague. Because some of them are pretty bad. I did see one, I think I mentioned in the other thing there, that I did see one recently. It was a found footage one that I was all excited. Because, ooh, a found footage Amityville film. And it's like, it was not good. And I'm usually pretty forgiving about stuff like that too. But like I tried so hard to like that movie, but it just missed the mark on so many points. I'll do a proper review at some point. I'll suffer through it again just for you. I'll probably buy it on Blu-ray because I'm crazy that way. Anyway, then we have Amityville Dollhouse, which I'm guessing is about a cursed dollhouse of some kind, possibly. I might be way off on that. Yeah. Anyway. Ooh. I like that cover. That is cool. That's actually a pretty neat cover. That was one thing about the VHS era, was even if the movies were crap, you could be pretty much guaranteed they would have awesome cover art. And that's how they get you. They suck you in with an awesome cover. So, here we go. So all of these are either available individually or going to be available individually, as far as I am aware. So, so don't fret too much if you want these in your collection, but you missed it on the limited edition. I just barely scooched in. There was a Vinegar Syndrome sale, and I asked Stout if he could get them for me, and he very graciously did, because he's a wonderful person. So, I'm just going to slide all these. Oh, it's so comfortable. They just slide right back in. No fuss or muss. That's the rainbow of spine, and then look at that. Right into the box. Beautiful. Done. Ugh. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. You do such excellent work. So, we'll just pull back a little bit here, and we got the Amityville Horror DVD collection, the Amityville Trilogy Blu-ray collection, and Amityville The Cursed collection. Excellent. MGM, Scream Factory, Vinegar Syndrome, and it goes even farther than that across all of the other sequels. This is why we've never had a definitive Amityville collection franchise collection, because they're spread across so many different studios. So Vinegar Syndrome managed to get these. They didn't manage to get Amityville The Curse, which is, I think, the fifth one or sixth one. Anyway, it's from this era. Yeah, hopefully we'll see that one at some point. So that will kind of cover the early days of the Amityville franchise. And, you know, eventually I'll pick up all the rest of them, and then hopefully we can do that Amityville month of movie reviews, which should be both fun and tortuous all at once. Yeah. And there you go. Quite a nice way to kick off the Amityville collection. Now, ultimately, I would like to get all of the rest of them, but there's quite a few, as I say. So, I mean, this at least gives us the first 7, minus that one that I mentioned earlier. But, yeah, so eventually I'll get the rest of them. And some of them are only peripherally related. Some of them are remakes. Some of them are pseudo-sequels. There was one I actually watched recently. It was a found footage one, and it was awful. And I'm usually really forgiving when it comes to low-budget horror films, especially found footage ones. You know, it had its moments, but it was just so awful. So, of course, I will buy it. I will pay money for it and add it to my collection at some point, because I'm just crazy that way. But there's a lot of other ones. I did see the 2005 remake with Ryan Reynolds. That one actually wasn't bad. It was actually pretty faithful to the original film. It just kind of cranked up the terror factor a little bit to, you know, put it more in modern spec, I guess, in terms of horror. But it was all right. It was all right. I still prefer the original, though. But, yeah, so eventually I'll get the rest of them, and maybe we'll do an even bigger franchise overview at some point. But for now, this is a good place to start. Now, I should mention, this box set was only available through Vinegar Syndrome's website, and it was a pretty limited edition as far as I'm aware. But that said, I'm pretty sure you can get the movies individually. So I will do my best for you and attempt to include Amazon links in the description below if you would like to get all of these movies for your collection. This set is out of print, but again, I'll do my best. I'll see if I can find some Amazon links for you. And as always, for those of you who use my Amazon links, thank you so much, because that really does help out with the show. It allows me to get more stuff that I can do videos about for you. Alrighty, well, that is it for me to you for now. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day, and I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.